Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the show, everybody. Talk a little bit about WWE Raw from last night. I actually just finished watching the main event this morning, just to see how it would go. But how are you? Welcome. Get started early this morning. I got my coffee. I'm good to go. And I thought it'd be fun. We could sit down. We could talk. I need a shave. Getting a little fuzzy. And mustache. I thought it'd be fun. We can go through a little bit of Monday Night Raw, recap a little bit, see what you guys thought of the whole thing. Toby, let me talk to you. Thank you so much for coming by, guys. If you want to support the show, best way you can is just by hitting subscribe and hitting the like button on the live stream. It goes a long way. I've cleaned up my stream a little bit. Fun bars, make cinematic here. We make it look all fancy dandy here. Got the blurred out look. Have some fun. What did you think of Monday Night Raw? We'll go through a little bit of everything. But Sandy, hi from Germany. Good to see you. B Nation, Boss One, the Mad Boss, hi. Passionate Cody Rhodes, Jacob Wilson, D'Angelo, Avi Sanchez, Caduce, Hunter Noob Gaming, Akeem, Kadar, what's up? Bad to the Bone. Charlie, good to see everybody here. And Michael. Disappointed with the product? My goodness. My God. Let's talk first. I'm trying to think. Go through this thing in order, but let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania and what they're kind of setting up. Because they're in full WrestleMania mode now, right? Oh, my back still hurts. Good God. Oh, this is hard. So, WrestleMania is really shaping up. Particularly, let's talk about, it is confirmed, Brock Lesnar versus Omos, or if you're Brock Lesnar, Omos. That is happening. What do you think about Brock Lesnar taking on Omos? You got MVP in the mix, being the mouthpiece. We didn't even see Omos tonight, but that segment between Brock, I kind of thought that they might have swerved everybody and said, they'll have the Omos tease thing with Brock, and then Bobby would jump him or something like that to set up a rematch at Mania, but they're not. They're going to have the two giants colliding, and we're going to get Omos versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I'm okay with it. I gotta be honest, because one, Brock is out of the title scene completely. That's fine. It's been that way for a while now. You can move on. Two, I think it's fun. I think it's fun for Brock. You can tell he's been having a lot more fun this whole run as the babyface. And I think it's different. And you know what? It's wrestling, and you get that two giants colliding. Can he take him down? Can Brock Lesnar F5 him? That's what it's going to be. Omos can't move that much. He can do some, like, clotheslines into the corner and some knees and maybe pick up Brock once, but he's got to do something cool at Mania. It's going to be for like 8 minutes. It's all going to be entrance. And it's going to be Brock doing some suplexes on him. And he gets out of there. So I'm here for it. Ben, I was there for it. It was an amazing show. Cool. Crowd seemed good. Where were they? Cedar Rapids? Javi, it might be boring, but at the same time, you got to think it's going to be just what it is. It's going to be a big man match. And I don't see Brock doing anything else. I don't see putting him in anything else either. JKJ subscribed. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Oh, Young Boy's here. Hi. I don't see putting Brock into anything else that would make sense. And even putting him against Bobby, I'd be kind of bored with it because we've seen it so many times. They move on. But the other piece that came out of that is we also have Bobby Lashley taking on Bray Wyatt, which I think is a way more interesting match. What do you think? That is different. That's going to be different. B Nation Gaming, Assemble supporter, brother, too sweet to you. Thank you very much for joining Assemble community and supporting the show. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Lashley and Bray. Those are two very contrasting styles of characters and stars. And it's going to be a lot of smoke and mirror stuff. Bobby Lashley's not having it. And I really am curious what they'll do leading up to this thing. Is it going to be Bray doing almost a Cena thing where they're going to go through Bobby's past and try and get in his head a lot. Then you got to have the actual match, or we're going to get a cinematic match. To be honest, it's different. And I'll give him credit and Triple H and them credit that it is different from Vince's normal booking of these things for WrestleMania. So we got a couple of weeks we can see what they're going to do with Bray and Bobby. It has my attention because I don't see what they're going to do, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. B Nation became a member. That's awesome. Passion to Cody Rhodes subscribed. Yeah, thank you. So I don't know. It'll be good. The match itself will be good. They'll have a good wrestling match. I just wonder what the build is really going to be, because it's kind of out of nowhere. Just Bray saying, I'm going to challenge whoever wins. There's your match. Bobby basically just saying, get out of my way. They'll need to really chip at Bobby's past if Bray's going to kind of get in his head and do a mental thing. I personally thought, I don't know about you, but I kind of thought that what they would do, maybe they will, but I thought maybe they would bring back the Hurt Business, because that has been teased so much with backstage segments. I thought maybe they would bring back Hurt Business. Unplug something. Maybe they would bring back the Hurt Business and have the Hurt Business be the foil for Brock or for Bray in this case. And with Bray, maybe doing a Wyatt 6 thing, because we don't know if we're going to get Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Are we going to get the Fiend? Are we going to get a combination deal? It's going to be weird and unknown. I kind of wondered if they're going to give us, like, maybe you're going to get a bunch of everybody leading up to this thing, where you get Uncle Howdy, Bray, maybe he brings in Alexa Bliss. I don't know. But if there's going to be multiple characters on screen, maybe then Bobby goes and uses the Hurt Business to help him out, to take down Uncle Howdy and other people. It's going to be weird. Someone brought this up the other day, or I was watching a podcast or something, and one of the ideas floated around that I thought was kind of cool was, like, Bray has a Wyatt 6 faction, and in that faction you get Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, Karrion Kross. You bring in obviously Scarlett, Alexa Bliss, and it's 3 guys and 2 girls, something like that. Maybe somebody else to be another weirdo for Bray Wyatt. And then try to create the Wyatt 6 as a faction. No, never mind. It was that, and then you could have brought in the guys from Sanity and brought in Sanity to work with Bray Wyatt, all under, like, the Wyatt family Wyatt 6. Something like that. I thought it was interesting, at least. Dexter Loomis, Toby, that'd be cool. Abdul, hi. I'm doing great today. I hope you guys are doing well, too. So we got some matches set up for WrestleMania. Those are kind of cool. And then the big one, and we'll go in depth, we'll go through a little bit of the rundown for Raw and recap everything. But we did see new women's tag team champions. What do you think? We've got Lita and Becky Lynch are your women's tag champs now, with the help of returning Trish Stratus, which I'm so happy to see. I love Trish Stratus. Good old girl from Canada. Yeah. WWE Slam Zone and Emperor Black Fox subscribed. Yeah, thank you guys. So we got new tag champs. They went with the Legends, thrown together combo. Cool for Becky. She's got that relationship with Lita. She's always wanted this. It's a cool moment. Great for the crowd. Trish coming back, takes out Bayley. To me, this very clearly sets up a rematch, but it's going to be a 3-on-3 at WrestleMania. Obviously, I wouldn't say it would be for the titles, and you would get Trish, Lita, and Becky versus Damage Control at WrestleMania in a grudge match. See, the thing is, though, this is great. Like, I thought the main event, solid. Lita can't do too much in the ring, but they hit the spots. Trish coming back, that's a cool spot. Becky did the heavy lifting there, and so did Damage Control. And I thought the overall match was good. And you know what? They haven't done anything with the women's tag division at all. It almost needs a reset. Damage Control has just been walking around with those titles doing literally nothing. No contenders, no nothing. And the Becky Bayley story has been going for some time, and I've enjoyed it, and it's going to be good. So obviously at WrestleMania, I do believe it's going to be a 3-on-3 match. That'll be a cool moment. You got to figure, though, Legends and Becky, they're going over against Damage Control at WrestleMania. I can't see the heels winning. And you just won these tag titles as well. So you want that big feel-good moment. You're going to have Becky, Lita, and Trish win and beat Damage Control. The problem I have, though, is what do you do with Damage Control from there? Like, they can just keep eating losses, but their whole credibility is really gone down, in my opinion. Like, they don't win. They don't win at all. They've held on to these tag titles, but they don't have any challengers, and nothing's been going on, and Bayley just eats losses every time. So I really wonder what you're going to do with Damage Control after WrestleMania. I think the Mania match will just be a really fun 10-15 minute match, and everyone gets their stuff in, and you get the legend spots, and that'll be fun. But it's afterwards. Now, what I think they could do, because obviously Trish would say bye-bye, she'd be gone. Can't really split after Mania, can you? So you got Lita and Becky. They come off high off the win. Maybe Trish stays around for a little bit to kind of be the third person in the corner kind of deal. What I can see happening, though, is they end up losing, but maybe they lose to Ronda and Shayna after Mania, and that is like their... Because Backlash is going to be the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Maybe at Backlash, they're going to set up Lita and Becky versus Shayna and Ronda. And if they do that, they need to make Shayna and Ronda a dominant, powerhouse, scary MMA team that's going to just run through everybody. It's going to be interesting to see if they even get on WrestleMania card. I'd be really surprised if they don't even put Shayna Baszler and Ronda on the card at all, particularly Ronda Rousey. Having her, and then she's in no real program. Unless they're going to do like a women's #1 contender thing at Mania, but there's already reports of Triple H slimming down WrestleMania for the timing, and, you know, fewer matches, longer matches, not just putting matches on for the sake of putting matches on. I can see them doing maybe a #1 contenders women's match for the tag titles on the kickoff or something like that. That gets Ronda Rousey on the card. But anyways, I think Backlash, you end up getting Ronda and Shayna winning, and that will split Lita and Becky. They can kind of say goodbye from there. So, it's interesting. I think it'll just lead to a feel-good moment. But that's it. They should turn on Bayley. You never know. They could do that too. Maybe they split Damage Control. Maybe right at WrestleMania, they lose the 3-on-3, and Io Sky and Dakota are sick of it. Or night after Mania on Raw, it's a cool moment. They all come out, and maybe they turn on Bayley, and they just say we're done. They go off as a separate tag team together, Io and Dakota, and then Bayley is left on her own. Then you can get Bayley even more bitter, and she could do some rematches with Becky or something else. That could work. Raw kicked off, everybody, with the Usos. A little bit of the Usos. We got Jimmy and Solo. Jimmy cutting the promo. It brought out the Street Profits. Ladies and gentlemen, Montez Ford. My man. I'm booking it now. Montez Ford in 2023 after Mania. That man, give him a singles run. Let John Cena and Austin Theory go at it at WrestleMania. Theory winning. Theory can brag. Do all of that. Set me up a nice... Give me a tournament. Give me a gauntlet match for a #1 contender for the U.S. title, and give it to Montez Ford. I want Ford going all the way. He's so damn entertaining. I thought the promo was good. It set up a match, the tag team match with the Usos, like Solo and Jimmy, against the Street Profits, and that was fine. The thing at the end was that we had Kevin Owens came out of nowhere and got the stunner in, did that, and they're clearly going to set up, and they did a backstage segment later on, Kevin Owens getting interviewed, leaving the arena, and again saying how he doesn't need anybody. So they're gonna build this thing to the tag team match of the Usos, maybe with Solo Sikoa in their corner, against Sami and Kevin Owens, teaming up and finally taking down the Usos. Jay, though, is still the wild X factor. We don't know where his allegiance lies, how they're gonna get that story to the end, but you can clearly see that's the direction, that's the path. They're moving Sami away and Kevin away from Roman in the title. Cody, Roman, that's the title. They're making that thing big deal. So yeah, I'm excited though for the tag team match. What do you guys think though if they're gonna do? Are they gonna put the placements on the card are gonna be interesting, because I wonder how much of the storyline of the bloodline we're gonna get at WrestleMania throughout the 2 nights. 2 nights of Mania. What's interesting, what's fun about it is that you can tell so many stories throughout. You can do 2 nights of storytelling. Do you put the Bloodline tag team match on first on night 1? Do you put it and then have some story beats that can run throughout to night 2? Because if the Bloodline loses the tag titles, you got Roman getting upset with Bloodline. Maybe the Bloodline turns on Roman Reigns finally. There's quite a bit they could do. I just wonder what they will end up doing with that. And do we see the Bloodline turn away, and do you put them in a main event spot? Do you put them on main event of night 1? Do you have them open night 2? I feel like a lot of it's going to be interesting what they end up doing. Then we got into Brock Lesnar, Battle Omos. They set up the match for WrestleMania, where MVP took a huge F5. Thought the segment was fun. You got Brock. He's got the white lightning in his pocket. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. It's going to be a fun spectacle match. And you know what? You need those palate cleansers. It's Brock Lesnar. He draws money. Omos is a giant. It's going to be just what it is. It's a giant man match. Brock comes in. They're going to hit some moves. Omos will get some offense on Brock. Eventually, he just turns into suplexes. And then the giant F5 to take down Omos. Looking in chat here, Toby, who will Gunther face? I do believe that it's going to be a triple threat of Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther for the IC title, and I would pick Gunther to win. Then maybe you end up having Sheamus and... do you have Sheamus and Drew fight after to kind of say bitter rivals type of deal? I don't know. Or do you have them just be straight up tag team? I find that kind of messy. I don't know what you do, but I do think that's a triple threat. But the Brock segment with MVP, yeah, it was fun. Had a good time. But we are going to get that match at WrestleMania like we talked about. Then they had Cody Rhodes in action against Chad Gable. Great match. A lot of fire. Like they were fired up with this match. And Chad Gable, I love Chad Gable. I think he's entertaining. I think he's like just a new age Kurt Angle. I wish that Chad Gable would go on his own, to be honest. I think the thing with the Alpha Academy thing with Otis is running its course. And maybe we're seeing that because we did get... What do they call him? Otis? The Maximum Male Models? They lured in Otis and had him going in action later on in the night against, was it Gargano? I think that's fun. And you know what? If it means that they could eventually split Alpha Academy or have them go do their own things, you got Otis being the entertainer, and I think Chad Gable just let him run and have a singles run. I want to see him be that Kurt Angle type because he's so good in the ring. Connor, Matt, please answer. This is RK Bro still a tag team? Yeah, I guess technically they are. Just that Randy's hurt and Riddle's gone. He's suspended. Have Chad Gable turn face? Yeah, like you could have a really strong baby face in Chad Gable taking on Austin Theory, like getting in the mix for the US title. Because he's been the arrogant heel for a while, and he's very entertaining. But I think that you need to get him a singles push. They know how good he is in the ring. But anyways, you had Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable, and just a really good match. I think it's good that you put Cody on TV. I know there's always probably a risk of like, hey, this is our main eventer for WrestleMania. Like, you almost just don't want them to do anything to risk injury or anything at all. But I think it was good to get Cody out there. His gear looked awesome. Strong showing, great performance. There's some comedy bits in there with Otis and Cody Rhodes. I thought it was great. Then after the match, you have Cody Rhodes saying that he's coming to Friday Night SmackDown. And basically, I think we're going to get that confrontation between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. What do you think about that? It's going to be damn interesting. They're not doing the contract signing yet. So we're going to get some bloodline. We're going to get Roman Reigns. You think that we're going to get the Usos in there? Maybe Sammy. I wonder if you get almost a situation of Cody coming out on... That's going to be a big SmackDown. You got Roman in there. SmackDown pulls crazy numbers right now, too. Because of Sammy and Roman and all of that and the bloodline. But if you have Cody Rhodes announcing now that he's going to come out in a week, he's going to come out on Friday, you could have Cody confront Roman in the ring for a really cool moment. The Usos all come out to back up Roman Reigns. That brings out Sammy and Kevin Owens. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be a wild segment if they're going to do that. We'll see what happens there, but I think that's going to bring in such crazy numbers. Then you got Asuka versus Carmella. Good match, but they're just really going to be showing up Asuka, getting her to show off because she's going to be taking on Bianca Belair. It brought out Bianca Belair at the end, then there's some shoving, and then Carmella got shoved into her. So they're probably going to set up next week Bianca Belair versus Carmella is my guess. Do something like that. Savio Rodriguez, thank you very much for your donation there, buddy. I appreciate it. I think for WrestleMania, though, yeah, I would say that Asuka will win. I don't think it's going to be Bianca retaining. Bianca's been, while she's fantastic, I just feel like the run is done. I think you need a heel. You need to change it up. Get Bianca to chase. Get some fire under her. Asuka is supposed to be and is presented as the scary, dominant challenger. You need to do that and amplify that up even more. And then I think you need Asuka to get a pretty dominant win over Bianca, to be honest. And then that way you can have more baby faces fight from underneath. You can do Bianca in a rematch. You can put Bayley in there, or excuse me, you can put Becky in there. You could do a draft, change up some of the roster, but you need new challengers and you need new baby faces to kind of climb up. That's just what I think. Candice LeRae defeats Piper Niven in a match. I'm glad that they're both getting on TV and Piper Niven is kind of back. It's good to see her there, but they're not setting much up for this one. Then you got into The Miz. The Miz is announced as the WrestleMania host. What do you think of The Miz hosting WrestleMania this year? I gotta be honest, and they might still do this. I'm kind of hoping that what we get is you got The Miz, who's going off and being all, ego driven and cocky, that he is the one who's going to host WrestleMania and do some fun stuff. He's got everything planned out. I hope that what they're going to do is have LA Knight spoil The Miz's WrestleMania hosting, where LA Knight will come out and confront The Miz. This is me fantasy booking. Confront The Miz and say that he is the real host of LA WrestleMania. It's LA Knight's time. Big man. Yeah. And then you could have almost the two of them competing for who can one-up each other at WrestleMania as host. I think they'd be both great on the mic, going back and forth, and I think the crowd would just ultimately go with LA Knight. Let me talk to you. But you have the segment where Rollins comes out and takes over the segment, calls up Logan Paul on The Miz's phone after The Miz got taken out. It was fun. Rollins is so over. He's so over with the crowd. They did this thing where they called him on his phone. It looked really weird, though, because it's obviously pre-filmed and everybody was looking up at the Titantron because you could see Logan Paul on there. Because it looked really weird that, Seth's hand looked like it just did not move. It looked like a mannequin's hand holding the phone, and then you had Logan Paul on there. But I thought Seth was great in this, confronting Logan Paul. Called him a bitch at the end. Habib, are you a fan of LA Knight since he was Eli Drake? Yeah, Eli Drake was great in Impact and in NWA. But I think Seth and Logan Paul will have a great match. I wish Seth was doing more. I wish Seth was in title matches, WrestleMania. He's earned it. But it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of stuff's going to happen. And the build will be fun. You got two guys that are, Seth's whole persona is very much the crazy, outlandish ego guy, almost in that celebrity role too. And not that this is a celebrity match, but Logan Paul can go, Seth can go, and I think they'll have fun building this thing. We got a little bit of serious Seth Rollins, which is good when he's doing these interviews and promos, being called out by going back to the Royal Rumble. It's going to be a good match. But I do think that they should have LA Knight and The Miz kind of duking it out for who can be the host of WrestleMania. Maybe even put them in a match at WrestleMania together. But I want something with LA Knight. Bobby Lashley defeats Elias, which set up the promo segment after, with Bray Wyatt coming on the screen on the Titantron doing the Muscle Man dance. We've seen the Muscle Man dance before. It was great. I love to see it now. And they spliced in Bobby Lashley flexing and doing a bunch of stuff. So we are getting Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Just going to be interesting to see what the build is. What the heck they are going to do. And what are they going to pull for like history and have this thing make sense? I'm at least intrigued of where it will go. I'll tell you that much. I'm intrigued, and it's refreshing. Johnny Gargano defeated Otis in the Maximum Male Models interference. Dexter Lumis was involved. Okay. What's going on with Johnny Gargano? He's been in the limbo with Dexter Lumis since he has returned to WWE. We got the whole Miz thing with Dexter Lumis, the money, all of that stuff. It went way too long. Johnny wrestled a handful of times. He's had a little bit of thing with Baron Corbin. Now Corbin is hilarious because Corbin keeps getting cut off. That's his gimmick. They keep trying to interview Corbin about what's going on, and they keep saying, sorry, something more important is going on, and that's his gimmick. That's funny. But Gargano is an amazing talent, great wrestler, Johnny Wrestling, but they're not doing anything with him. Now he's in a Maximum Male Models thing with Dexter Lumis. So are we going to get Maximum Male Models against Gargano and Dexter Lumis? It's a TV program. I'm glad Maximum Male Models are getting time. They've shown that they can be very entertaining. If you watch any of their like digital stuff, the YouTube stuff, they can be very entertaining. So I'm glad that they're getting some time on TV, on Raw. They got traded a little while back. But I kind of feel like Gargano, they are waiting for Ciampa to come back and to do something. JBL versus Corbin at WrestleMania? I doubt it. I doubt it. I do feel like it's going to be Ciampa's return. And yeah, John Elite, a DIY reunion could be a lot of fun. I feel like after WrestleMania, we'll talk about, WrestleMania thoughts after the Raw recap. I feel like WrestleMania is going to be a great moment for Triple H to show what he can book. And that reset for talent and for storylines and start a new season fresh. But I don't know. I'm not into the whole Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis stuff anymore. They're just doing thumbs up. It's cute and entertaining, and Johnny's great, and Dexter Lumis can be good, but it's just like, I feel like they're hitting their ceiling a little bit. And then we got into the main event, and we talked about this briefly at the beginning, but Becky Lynch and Lita defeated Damage Control to win the women's tag team titles, with Trish Stratus coming in to support them and help them out. Took out Bayley in the process. We got the Lita's moonsault in there, which actually she hit in Lita's prime. She rarely hit that moonsault clean, so she hit it pretty good on Io. Great moment for Becky Lynch. She gets to team up with Lita. They get the tag team titles. Now I think that this is very clearly going to be a triple threat. I'm tired. They're going to do a 3-on-3 at WrestleMania. Trish, Becky, and Lita versus Damage Control. And once again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think that then you're going to lead into faces winning at WrestleMania. Feel good moment, takes down the heels. Maybe after WrestleMania, maybe then you get the split of Damage Control, because I think it's run its course. I don't know about you, but I feel like it's done. They've done everything they can. They've won the tag titles. Bayley never won the singles title, which is disappointing. You probably should have to get some more momentum, but they've turned into almost a jobber team. Like, they're coming out, they're in whatever program, they're gonna lose, and they're fun and they're entertaining, they're great wrestlers, but they're not in anything where I feel like, ooh, they're gonna win. When they first debuted together as a team back at SummerSlam, they're great. You got the women's tag division, they're gonna light that thing up, and it just all kind of floundered, and then she kept losing to Bianca. Bayley did. So now we have this. I think post-Mania, you break them up, get out of there almost before it starts to go south, where they have no momentum, because now they don't have the tag titles. They're not doing anything. And what are you going to do? Just do endless rematches? And there's no face tag teams for them to fight with. I also wonder, where are they going to go with Bayley? I kind of feel like Io and Dakota will walk away from Bayley after WrestleMania. They don't have any heat. There's no heat on them. And without the tag titles, they really don't have anything else. I think also then we get Backlash. You get Lita and Becky with Trish in the corner maybe. And you heat up Ronda and Shayna and let them take on get the tag titles. Dominant fashion. Because Lita can't really go that much. So you got Becky trying to fend off both of them. And I think then you can get them to win the tag titles. Get them off TV for a bit. Let Ronda and Shayna try to run that thing. And tee up some contenders to them. Women's side. That's what I think. Shout out to channel members Jacob, Eric, Arda, good to see you. Glad you're in the chat. Happy Tuesday morning. Talking a little bit of WWE Raw Recap. So that was Raw in a nutshell. I gotta say, overall, I find Raw is moving at a good pace. SmackDown does, because it's just 2 hours or less with commercials. And it goes at a really good pace. Nothing really dragged, and you're in prime WrestleMania season where, okay, all the stories, the matches are really taking shape every week. They're building on these storylines. There's a lot going on. WrestleMania is going to be very interesting, but we do know that we're going to get Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley, Omos, Brock Lesnar, and it looks like Damage Control versus Lita, Trish, and Becky. Those are the new matches going to be added. And they're very clearly defining Cody, Roman. That's the title match. They advertised it. They haven't advertised Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos. That's the interesting piece. How they're going to do that. What role will Solo Sikoa play in it? They set up Jimmy and Solo as a tag team right now. I wonder how they're going to get there. Is Jay just going to side with Jimmy and say, we're brothers? That's how it is. It's an interesting storyline. I really do love it. Let's talk in the chat. What do you guys want to talk about? Jay White. I seen a lot of Jay White. Arda, what's up, brother? Too sweet. I see a lot of people saying Jay White. So if Jay White comes in, let's talk about it. And we talked, and Habib and other people have talked about Kenny Omega as well. So let's talk about that. And you got post-WrestleMania. I think that what you do is you sign both of them. Kenny Omega will be later. Kenny Omega will be down the road. 2023-24 is going to be very interesting for contracts. There are so many contracts in AEW that are going to be coming up this year. So it's going to be real interesting to see where people land, where they go. Do they get out of their contracts? Do they go to WWE? Or do they stay with AEW? Right now, I feel like it's grass is a little greener in WWE. Wouldn't have said that if it was still under Vince. So Jay White. One of the things I would have said to do with Jay White is you have... So I think there's a couple of ways to do this. If, let's just assume, does Jay White come to WWE? I think so. I think it's a good move. I don't think he would... I'm sure AEW would want to pick him up. He's done everything in New Japan. Still a relationship between AEW and New Japan. But we've seen Jay White in AEW for a moment. And he showed up in Impact. Wasn't do anything with him in AEW. Like, they really didn't. I know they're trying to do Forbidden Door stuff. They really didn't do anything with Jay White. And you had Jay White on your TV. And I just felt like it was kind of eh. So I don't really want to see Jay White go to AEW. I want to see him sign a 3-year deal with WWE and treat him like a big star. Can they pull it off? I think so. If you bring him in as a big, nasty heel, great on the mic, he's got such a good delivery, then bring him in. If it were me, I think his first feud would be against AJ Styles. And that's assuming AJ would be healthy. What I would do is have AJ pop up Raw after Mania. Let's assume AJ is healed up by now, or he's like on the road to being healed up. Have AJ Styles show up on Raw after Mania. Huge pop. He's returned. That's a big, big name coming back. AJ's got fired up, gets in the ring, says, I'm ready to go. And then lights out. Boom. Jay White shows up. And you got Jay White versus AJ Styles, first feud at Backlash. That, to me, is money. There's go and talk about history. Michael Cole can mention Bullet Club on TV. Everyone would be happy there. And then you have Jay White win against AJ Styles, and AJ can take an L, and then you have Jay White move on. What I think you could do as well with Jay White is, could you put him up in the title scene against Cody? Sure. But then you would have to lose right away, and you don't want to do that. Javi Sanchez, thank you very much. Crazy faction idea, Rhodes, Sammy, KO, and Omega. So you could do something really cool like that. That's a great idea. I think you could do also with Jay White to have some fun. Put him in Judgment Day. Judgment Day is going to be interesting after WrestleMania. They're still very hot. They're very popular. Dom is just such a jerk. Like, we just hate him. So he's going to get to come up against Ray because that match is going to happen. I think Rhea's going to win the women's title. So you're getting way more momentum, and you're making damage control. You're making Judgment Day even stronger. I think you could add Jay White into Judgment Day. It's a little comedic. It's a little corny with Judgment Day, but you don't want to mess with them. And you could have a good tag team in Finn Balor and Jay White. Maybe going for tag titles. There's a lot you could do. But I do see that. When it comes to Kenny Omega, I think Kenny At his age and the amount of injuries and the work that he's done, I think you do have Kenny Omega go. If I'm him, I go to WWE and have my final run there. Get the WrestleMania payday. Get the WrestleMania match. Whether that's a title match or he's got a match against Seth, Roman, I don't know. There's so much stuff you could do with Kenny Omega. And he'd be a lot of fun in WWE. He could come in as a heel or a face. He'd probably come in as a face first and then see what you can do with him. I just worry that, and maybe WWE would worry about him being a little bit on the injury side, and he's on the older side. And maybe that would deter them from wanting to sign him. Because they have a lot of big names, but a Kenny Omega showing up at the Royal Rumble, for example, almost like into AJ Styles' debut, that's a huge moment. Even if the rumblings and like if we got to like the Royal Rumble, like Kenny's contract is up this year, and he just takes time off, period, because that gives Kenny a lot of, or he has to extend his contract because he was injured and AEW puts more time onto it. Either way, if Kenny is just off TV, he's able to recover for so much longer. He's finished up. He doesn't go anywhere. Then the rumors and the rumblings start going on that Kenny Omega is going to sign with WWE. If all the signs point to that, it almost becomes a lock that he is there. But and you want WWE to have that big surprise moment of Kenny debuting. I think you can still have that, even if the fans kind of know it's going to happen. You're still getting that giant pop and reaction of like Kenny Omega, WWE, he's here. That would be a massive, massive moment. I would do it at the Royal Rumble, personally. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Kadar, do I think that the Bucks would go with Kenny? I don't know. Do you think WWE wants the Bucks? I think the Young Bucks and Kenny, they would try to go together. I do. And you know what? Bucks versus Usos. That'd be a lot of fun. Bucks versus Kenny and Sammy. So with the Young Bucks, like I am not a giant Young Bucks fan. I like their matches. Fun. Entertaining. I've never... They're in like in-ring matches. Sometimes they tell cool stories. Like the Lucha Brothers, and they did that, and the Death Triangle. I thought that stuff was fun. Their cage match way back when, that was really cool. They can have really amazing matches in huge spots, but they've never cut a promo that I've ever been glued into. Never cared, ever. That's just me. And so when I see them going to like a WWE, I'm like, well, you got to be able to do promos and do that, not just come in and do crazy spinning top rope pile drivers and stuff. And they wouldn't be able to get away with all the stuff. They got to do a WWE style. They'd have to tone it down, maybe. Still think it'd be cool to see them there. I still think they would probably try. But isn't it weird, though, if they all left? Cody left. They're all gone. There's no more elite in all elite wrestling. I don't know. Maybe Kenny and the Bucks just stay and they ride out their time in AEW and they get a nice big paycheck and they be creative, have matches and feuds that they want and wrestle how they want. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they don't want to go to WWE and be on the road all the time. Do a final run there. I don't know. But I do see them probably wanting to go do whatever together. It'd just be so funny you got all elite wrestling. It's like, wait, where are the elite? Oh, they're not here. They're in another company. Ah. Thunder Sky Dancer? Yeah, I can see that too. Where the Bucks are a little too spot heavy for WWE. They come in and say, well, no, you're not going to do 80 spots in 12 minutes. You need to tell a better story. Maybe they just don't fit WWE style. Whereas Kenny, I can see as a singles competitor, he can tell amazing stories in the matches in New Japan. Been phenomenal. I just don't see the same thing with the Bucks. Yeah, Toby, AEW still has their pillars, and you got like Darby and MJF and Britt. Their Wardlow in there if they ever build them up. I hope Wardlow's contract is up. It's been how long with AEW? 3 years? I hope Wardlow only had like a 3-4 year deal. His contract is up and then he gets to WWE. Put that man on SmackDown. Let's go. Let Wardlow, I'm a big Wardlow fan. And Adam Page. Adam Page, I think, will just stay with AEW. I don't see him in WWE. That's just me. I apologize if I'm constantly like this, guys. I injured my back the other day, and then I went out this morning and shoveled snow. And my back is all banged up. Habib, if you were a wrestler, do you want to get signed by WWE? Absolutely. I'd start in NXT and work my way up. It's the biggest show in town. Maybe you get some credibility built under me, go to AEW for a year or two, come back to WWE even bigger. Ways to do it. And Mox too, Toby. Yeah, I see Mox is one of those. He signed his contract extension, right? He's with AEW forever. Logan. Okay, so CM Punk's an interesting one. Ah, you mentioned CM Punk. Look at that. I got a CM Punk shirt on today. Boom. Zip it up and see my stuff. Logan, you make a good question. Dante, good morning. We're talking a little bit about AEW now and WWE, where some of the stars will go. Logan, with Punk, this is what's interesting. And when we're talking about the Bucks, Kenny Omega, their contracts being up, where they go. So what if, one thing popped in my head was, what if the Bucks and Omega do leave AEW? Either just retire, don't re-sign. Maybe they get picked up by WWE. If they got picked up by WWE, I could really see CM Punk come back. We know he's off because he's injured / legal things. We have no status update on Punk. What if they are kind of also waiting to see, like Tony Khan and Punk and everybody? What if they're waiting to see what Kenny Omega and the Bucks are going to do? Because if they are the large crux, the large problem for Punk personally, why all of this went down as he talked during Muffin Mania about the EVPs, what if there are no more EVPs? What if they don't re-sign and they are just gone when the contracts are up? I'm sure Tony Khan would want to re-sign Kenny and the Bucks. But if they don't, because they think they're going to go to WWE, what if that's the time when Punk does come back? You no longer have that problem and that barrier if you're CM Punk. Punk can go on and put on great stories, in my opinion, against a lot of stars. And he doesn't have to wrestle every week. He's older, tired, I'm hurt, all that stuff, Tony. But if he is older and he's not able to go as hard, and you don't need to put him on every single week, but put him on for your big pay-per-views and big feuds and big stories, treat him that way, he'll last longer, and you can use him hopefully backstage to help grow talent and bigger stories. I think you could definitely have CM Punk come back. I hope he does. I am a CM Punk fan. Pulls in numbers, and frankly, whether you like him or not, or you side with the Bucks and Kenny and all that, whatever, that's all good. But he drew numbers, he drew ratings, eyeballs to the product. Seemed like there was more stories and more going on when Punk was around, just the whole television product. Don't put CM Punk on Rampage. Rampage is getting numbers between 200 to 400,000 a week. Nothing. I think Rampage is at a terrible time slot and the show is nothing. Like, either get a third hour of Dynamite or just rebrand that thing so it's its own thing. But I think if Punk comes back, he's on Dynamite and main titles and main stories that aren't necessarily with the title. You do anything else, but bring in more storytelling. Who wins the bidding war of 2024? I have a sneaky suspicion that MJF signed in like a 1-year extension because he always talked about how he got more money. I wonder if he signed like an extra 1 year AEW. Maybe there is no 2024. If there is, MJF should go to WWE. So young. And if they could do a similar story of Punk with the title at Money in the Bank 2011, MJF could lose the title with the story arc of like his contract is coming up, where is he going to go? Doesn't resign, and he goes to WWE, shows up the next night on Raw. Something cool we like that with him. Could you imagine if MJF lost the title on a Sunday night pay-per-view of All Out or something, and then he showed up on Monday Night Raw because his contract would be up? Something incredible. Arda, I want to ask you if you would give a list and point as promos, in-ring talent, story, maybe wrestling gear too. Can you list best 3 wrestlers, male and female, in the world right now? Oh my goodness. Ooh. For promos, in-ring talent, and story, well, one is Roman Reigns for promos and story. AEW right now, I think Hangman's doing a good job, but I don't love the story he's doing with... I think MJF for promos, in-ring talent, he's very good. Story. FTR I always put in there for storytelling and in-ring talent, like kind of together. I'm trying to think on the women's side. None of the women right now are blowing me away with what they are doing. Asuka's cool, but she doesn't do promos. So on the women's side, I find it a little bit trickier. Charlotte's at the top, and I don't really care about Charlotte right now. Becky's always fun, but she's doing a little side thing. So yeah, I don't know, it's really hard to say. Chelsea Green, I think, is hilarious. I hope WWE treats her well. They do more with her, and I hope Matt Cardona goes in there too. Adam Cole being back, I think, is great. Adam Cole is somebody on my list too that I love is featured. I think he's great in the ring. Adam Cole I put on that list. Great in the ring, amazing on the mic because he's very earnest and he comes across as very genuine, whether he's a heel or a face, and he can tell great stories. So as long as he's got good opponents. Got Chelsea Green's basically just a jobber. Yeah. Avi, yes. So we saw this a little glimpse on Raw, and I hope this does happen. You saw Chelsea Green and Carmella interact around Adam Pearce. They both hate Adam Pearce. I hope they do become a tag team because Carmella is not going to get in the title picture. And yeah, I don't like to see Carmella jobbed out because I think she's great. And Chelsea Green is like jobber, but she's playing this weird Karen role thing. Put them both together as a tag team because they don't like Adam Pearce is a great way to get them to connect because they both had like the little interaction on Raw. They're both complimenting each other and they can both relate to each other because they'll both be like, yeah, we don't like Pearce. So you can have great backstage segments with them. They can talk a lot of trash. And then that way you've got 2 more women for a women's tag. And it gets Chelsea Green on TV a lot more because I don't think she'll get into singles matches, especially with the character she has right now. Damage Control. I'm great. How are you? We just wrapped up WWE Raw. And we're just chit-chatting about Kenny and the Bucks, CM Punk, some of the other happenings with World of Wrestling. I'm loving it. By the way, guys, really enjoying live streams. Coming in almost every day, doing streams, seeing familiar names, faces in the streams, the channel members, your donations, all of that stuff. I'm really enjoying live streams. And I can't wait. 2K23 is coming out in like 2 weeks, brother. And when it does, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do like GM mode with you guys and universe mode. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. Jeremy, hi. Scott, Liv's been awesome. Yeah, Liv's great. Habib, who do you excited to get hands on at 2K23? Cody. I want to see Cody. I want to see Roman's entrance proper with the titles, see if it works or not. Yeah. Seth versus Logan, Damage Control. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but and Bobby, hi. The Seth, what did you say? Seth and Logan Paul. I think it'll be fun. They'll have great promos leading up to it, and I think it'll be a good 20-minute match. They'll do a lot of crazy high spots. I just want Seth to win. I don't want Logan Paul to win because Seth is going to get so cheered with his theme song at WrestleMania. He is over. So you need to establish Logan Paul as that heel, which I think they kind of did at Elimination Chamber. So beef that up. You'll get Logan Paul booed like crazy. Seth will go over, and I think you need Seth to get a win. He lost last year against Cody. If Seth needs wins, definitely deserve it, especially at WrestleMania. Vito, do you think NXT Level Up and UK Europe get their own DLC packs this year? I don't know. It's a good question. I think that we do see a NXT pack. I don't know if it's going to be a Level Up. Maybe they do. Maybe they do an NXT Level Up. That'd be kind of cool. So they just have any other NXT stars, like Pretty Deadly, for example, putting them in there. NXT pack would be cool. Javi, Logan and Jake. Yeah, I could see them doing a Jake Paul run-in. They did that before, right, in Saudi Arabia. Maybe they want to push that a little bit more. Hadar, I don't watch Being the Elite, I'll be honest. I have in the past just to see if it was like there was a storyline that was gonna and news kind of associated with it, but I really don't. Tactically Useless, subscribe. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I don't watch Being the Elite. Hard to have time. Dun, 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 dun. It is 14 days until 2K20. What? Who posted this? 2K23 community. Ramon at 2K23 posted this. That's on Twitter. So that's Ramon 2K, marketing manager at WWE Games. Oh, there's a 2K event happening, brother. Ooh. My guess is this would be the same demo. Oh, I wonder if they would do anything new. But they set this up just like they did with the Royal Rumble event. It looks like they might just play the exact same thing. Be interesting if we saw any new footage. And we're still waiting on the ringside report. Like I am. Like I'm doing that. Sitting here waiting. But 2K is not awake yet. Remember, they're in California. Oh. Gotta wait. It's like 10 o'clock right now. It's still bedtime for them. They're still sleeping. They're just waking up. So I kind of wait until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when we might see anything. Scott, Owen Hart and Fight Forever? I do, because remember they announced Owen Hart memorial thing, and we had the tournament on TV, but they also mentioned him for Fight Forever, and they never mentioned it again. Kind of wonder if he is. Is he gonna be playable? Heard anything different, but that's good. That's a good call, bringing that up. I wonder if Owen Hart's gonna be in the game. Fight Forever is interesting, man. I'm excited to play it. I want to play an alternative to simulation game. I want that blood. I love that arcade. I love that engine. But man, I think it's going to be dated. I'm not trying to be negative. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But they need to come out packing with DLC and add-ons for the course of the year to keep fans interested and really bring it. Like arenas updated and DLC packs with FTR and the acclaimed if they're not in the base game. 50 superstars is not a lot. So I'm going to be pretty disappointed that like the roster is going to be really slim. And I know we can't help it because of contracts and people come and go, but and why some stars are not in the game. And like Kenny said, and some stars are. But like by next year, what if Kenny and the Bucks are not even in there? Cody's going to be in the game. That's cool. You'll have him in there forever. But I think that game's going to suffer because the roster is going to be thin. And then you're going to have a limited amount of match types. And I know that AEW Fight Forever has like, they'll have the singles match, tag team match. They're going to have, I think, ladder match, but I don't know if it was mentioned or not. You have the lights out match. You have just a lot of variations of hardcore match. So I don't know how that's really going to play out. You don't get full entrances. And I know that's like, well, they're trying to save money or it's the engine. But No Mercy in WrestleMania 2000 had full entrances 25 years ago. Now we get these little short vignette entrances. I don't need the 2K entrance, but if you're going off that engine, show me the full entrance. I know people skip the entrances. You may not care, but it's still part of wrestling. It's theatrics. No Mercy did not. What did No Mercy do? No Mercy did entrances. Or am I misremembering? Big diggity dog. No Mercy had. Maybe I'm misremembering. Austin's entrance. We got the little Titantron. Da. So good. So much fun. Then? Is that it? Maybe it was WrestleMania 2000. Da. Yeah, must have been WrestleMania 2000. Blake, well, thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming for the live streams. The entrances feel like battlegrounds. That's a good call. The Kid Jay, what's up? Good to see you. Talking Raw, we're talking a little bit about AEW now. Looks like 2K is doing a community day event somewhere. Ramon from 2K, marketing manager. He's in San Francisco, so I guess maybe in the Bay Area in the US, they're doing a community day event. I wonder if more of the 2K Next makers are going out there to check the game out. Gonna poke Ramon. Hey, Ramon. there be new info dropping as shown? Community. 14 days from the game being released. It'd be nice if we heard about universe mode and prize creation. You know. Javi, yeah, okay. So WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, no. I just young boy. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My back is really wrecked. Very much. Thunder Sky Dancer. How long until they turn LA Knight into a face? Not long. The Yaz is getting over. Him chanting "Yeah" is getting over the crowd. He's after WrestleMania. If he does a thing at WrestleMania, like maybe with the Miz hosting, he'll be the face. He gets over. He needs wins though. He needs wins. As soon as they kind of feel like they're gonna turn him face, do it. But he needs wins. Young boy, do you think they'll have trios matches in the game? In Fight Forever? No. In Fight Forever, they're only going to have tag team matches. They're not having 3-on-3. Maybe we get the mask we saw at the Rumble for Bray Wyatt at Mania. Maybe. Habib, I don't know if LA Knight will win the big title. They split the titles. There's a chance he could win the WWE title, maybe. I see him winning like the US title or something. He'll be a champion. Maybe. Or he'll be a tag team. I want to see Grayson Waller come up and tag with The Miz. I think that would be an entertaining tag team. They also look alike. Similar. Man, do you think Brock versus Owens is Vince's booking? Kinda. It feels very Vince. But I don't know. What else would you have done with Brock? Forget Vince for a second. What else is Brock able to do in such a short amount of time? You could have done Brock versus Bray, but then what does Bobby do? You could have done triple threat between them, but do you want another triple threat? Because you might get the Gunther match. You could have done Gunther and Brock. People would have loved to see that. But if you're already planning Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther, kind of starts feeling like, well, what are you going to do with Brock Lesnar? You got to put him in a big marquee match. You got to put him in something big. Maybe he doesn't want to lose this year, so there's that. You think LA Knight is, or you think Omos is a placeholder? Arda, yeah, I would like to see Rhea as big champ, big champ. I want to see like an undisputed women's champion, one champ at the top, across both brands, give it to Rhea, and then bring down the Raw and SmackDown titles as your mid-card titles. So the very tippy top is the undisputed women's championship, whatever you call it, and that is for Rhea, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Bianca, your top title contenders. And whoever else they roll up into that. Then your mid-card titles are the Raw and SmackDown titles, but they have a ton of history and lineage, so they don't look like they're just kind of whatever. And then I'd probably ditch the women's tag titles. But I've always wanted women's mid-card titles because the roster's so big, they can't do anything with this tag team division that they have or don't have. So I think if you just created a new undisputed women's championship at the very top, you get really cool big time money feuds for that really big title. And the Raw and SmackDown titles still have, like I said, they still have lineage and they have all the history behind them, and people fight for that and people buy that as like they matter. Skydancer, Bobby deserves better than Bray. Bobby's done a ton this year. Yeah, I'd like to see more. I'm just curious what they're going to actually do with it. What will we see? Kevin, yeah, I'd like to see Demon Finn. I think we'll get Demon Finn versus Edge at Mania. That is looking like the match. I hope we do get Demon Balor, but for Judgment Day. F me. Back, guys, my back. Killing me, brother. Midnight? Yeah, I heard about Ultra Pro Wrestling. I saw that. Habib, which one do I like for his theme song? It's a shame to be not your head. John Hopkins, thank you very much for your donation, buddy. Logan, I said this maybe a little earlier. LA Knight co-hosting WrestleMania to battle The Miz for who's the better host. Mania, yeah. Orange Face, any ideas for Universe Mode you will be doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing... I will do a Universe Mode stream. Sorry, I'm like dying here with my back. I'm gonna do another Universe Mode. I'm gonna do live stream Universe Mode, and it'll probably be with the current product. Maybe kind of like following along with current rivalries, or something with more retro. I don't know yet. And then when Infinity Gaming, to your point, yes, when there is the new game comes out, I'll do like tutorial videos on like, hey, how to set up Universe Mode for this, tips and tricks, what's working, what's not. I'll go in depth on that stuff too. Scott, well, that's very nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with WrestleMania. I am still debating, to be very honest. I can kind of see myself doing a live stream watch along. Be a lot of fun. But I also want to be able to sit on my couch. If WrestleMania is a 3-hour show, I don't know. I might do it here. I might do it on stream. Maybe even just night one. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun to be able to just chill out. People here. Have a drink. Orange Face, well, thank you. I'm glad it keeps you going. Abdul, thanks, buddy. No, my back is killing me. It was fine yesterday. It's hurting a lot right now, but that's because I had to go out this morning and shovel snow. And I tried not to do much movement, but I did. Hurt. Nature. The game. The king of kings. Sledgehammer. Golden shovels. Do you think the most overused move in wrestling? Tope Suicida. No effect, no impact. Virtually everyone just dives through the middle rope and just kind of nudges their opponent, especially in WWE. I hate it. I hate the tope. Just don't do it as much, is my point. Like, just don't do it as much. People do the move? Fine. But do it and have some gravitas to it. Marco Estrada, I'm not streaming at 7 a.m. Maybe for you, sir. It's 10:40 in the morning here. I wanted to do an early stream for Raw Recap. And we have a wonderful audience that's waking up. Super kick as well. Yep, super kicks are overdone. They're not finishers. No one believes a super kick is going to end anything. The spear is used a lot. Tope Suicida is my vote, though. I guess it's cool for the live crowd to see them do that, but like, I like when I see, Undertaker would do his over-the-top rope dive. Drew McIntyre does one similar. Those ones are cool. Because it's like, whoa, the big man jumping. Tope is just through the middle rope, and everyone kind of gingerly just goes slow and just kind of goes, pushes each other. It's 9:40 in Chicago? Well, amazing. You like the new showcase style? If you mean the... Michael, hi. If you mean the... slingshot tech thing where they go between like the in-game to footage, yeah, I don't mind it. I no problem. Orange Face, yeah, the Lesnar MVP promo was a little forced. It was long to get there. They got there. It was okay. Okay, must have the Rhea's Riptide animation. So trash, is it? I haven't really looked at it. Any idea what this 2K23 day is? Community day is? Neil, I don't know, but I see like Roxanne Perez is there. They're doing a thing. Looks like it's obviously in the US. I don't know. They're gonna do something with this 2K community event day. I hope we get a ringside report. That's what I'm hoping on. My guess for this community day, it's just another round of demo. They'll play war games. Like, maybe they could let people see universe mode, something. Have I ever wrestle at a pool or trampoline? When I was a kid, I would do the pool. I'd be doing like swantons off the diving board. 7 p.m. in Turkey now. See, Arda? Different times everywhere. I'm always like, it doesn't really matter when I stream. People are like awake. Be interesting to see what they do with WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's the Roxanne Perez. Yeah, that the community with Nemesis. Which person? Okay. Which wrestling? Never heard of it. Habib, it's in Malaysia. It's 11:42. Go to bed, brother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the stream for now. I'm going to wrap it up just so I can go and get some lunch, early lunch, and get ready for the rest of the day. What we are going to do, though, is you'll probably see me again for the stream, and we'll do some 2K23. Might even come in and just play some 2K22 with everybody and chit-chat about the new game. But yeah, we'll wrap it up. I just wanted to do a quick little Raw recap, see what everybody thought, go through all of that, and I had a good time. Glad you guys were here. If you want to, if you can, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help support the channel, and stay tuned because, yeah, we'll probably have another stream today. Maybe we'll play some 2K22. Maybe we'll get that ringside report we've been waiting. Shall see. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming.